Hello, hello, Blenders. Hello, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday sa ating Facebook page, and we are also live sa YouTube. Thank you for joining me on this Friday. So, I decided to go live today to talk about one of the books that I love, and yung book that I got this Christmas. And so it took me 2 months to finish it, but I really love this book. And yeah, hello Albert. Hey guys. So we're live both on my Facebook page and on YouTube. So first time ko mag-YouTube live. Hello guys, thanks for joining us. Hello, hello. So this is just a quick Facebook live. I just would like to share one book that I really love, and I hope that you can also after this, you can check it out kasi it's really for me. I really got a lot of golden nuggets from this book. And since most of you know that I love sports, especially basketball, so that's why I think that's the reason I got very interested. So, well, I usually siguro read a book every quarter, but right now I have a lot of books on my plate na nasimulan ko, but I don't I'm not able to finish for different reasons apart from being very busy. But this book really I was able to finish in um, a few weeks, usually months. And again, yeah, kasi it's very interesting. Go Lakers, yes. So, without further ado, that book is not about the Lakers, but this one, about Nike, Shoe Dog. Sa ating YouTube viewers, sinong nakabasa na nito? As you can see, no, talagang binasa ko to. I usually read Kindle books, but I'm also trying to be less reliant on digital or gadgets. That's why I try to disconnect then. And ayun, so that's why I also buy yung talagang physical books. So this is an autobiography by Phil Knight. He's the founder of Nike. And shoe dog, it means somebody who loves shoes. Kumbaga, a shoe aficionado. And hello, hello. And yon, so I was able to write down yung mga takeaways ko from this book. Kasi I think well, before kasi I just read the book, and then when I finish it, go to the next book without kumbaga reflecting on what I learned from that book. So I think by sharing this to you, yung mga takeaways ko, I'm also learning, so that's why I'm also doing this. Hello, hello, hello guys. So again, this is about Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So why I love this book? So number one, well, again, as a sports fan, Nike is one of my favorite sports brands. In fact, matagal na rin to sa aking wishlist. And yun, ngayon ko lang siya nabasa after I got this as a gift nung Christmas. So, yeah, pinapakita ko both. So, for those who are just joining us, I'm also live on Facebook. So, sabay yung stream. So, that's why I love this book. So, of course, sports related. So, nalaman ko rin yung mga ibang mga chismis about the players who are talents of Nike. And siguro yung business side, no, what got me parang what I realized, and yung and from Phil Knight, parang nakita ko yung passion niya. He was also an athlete. He's a runner, and So the story behind kung paano niya, how he came up with this crazy idea, which is Nike. Uh, nag well, apart from being a runner, meron siyang sa college, he had this kumbaga thesis siguro, and he wrote this paper and presented this thesis about importing Japanese shoes sa US. Because at the time, yung number one shoe brand, German brands, Adidas and Puma. So he saw this, being a runner nga, and alam na yung dadaanan ng mga runners and athletes na they needed yung higher quality shoes like yung mga Japanese shoes. That's why yun yung naging thesis niya, yung why America should why should America should um, bring in or import Japanese shoes. So because of that, parang after that he got a good grade from his professor. Parang yung naging lingering idea, crazy idea na parang why not turn it into a business, kasi nag-research naman siya about that. So another thing that I like about this book is yung history or yung story ng Japan during the time na 1960s. So I visited Japan, kailan ba? 2 years ago. Uh, napakagandang bansa. But at that time, 60s, it was still war-torn pa rin siya. Ang dami pa rin mga sira-sirang mga structures. And it's still, parang they're still picking themselves up after World War II. So, at that time, yun nga, hindi pa siya ganun like what it is now as a superpower. So, that got me fascinated na, ganun pala before yung Japan, parang Pilipinas din pala sila na very affected by World War II. And then another thing that I liked and got me interested about the story is how he was, si Phil Knight, how he was very how do you call it, parang he really wanted to pursue yung crazy idea niya. In fact, he asked for money from his dad to not only visit Japan but visit the world. Kumbaga, he was straight out of college, and then he wanted to see the world, and gusto niya yung maging isang stop over niya, yun nga in Japan, to maybe talk to a shoe manufacturer para ma-import niya yung shoe sa Amerika. So in that shoe company was Onitsuka. So if you are familiar with the brand, yung Onitsuka Tiger, which actually nakilala ko lang sila when they opened like mga 5-10 years ago dito sa Greenbelt, yung Onitsuka brand. So I didn't realize na yun pala yung precursor ng Nike. So what he did, he visited, kumbaga he cold called yung Onitsuka office, and he said he's from America and he wanted to import yung shoes sa America, and then bale he was able to get that meeting with the Onitsuka people, and then from there parang na-impress sa kanya. Another story, at that time hindi pa talaga siya business, hindi pa niya naisip yung Nike, or kumbaga he was just validating the idea. And so when the Japanese asked him, yung Onitsuka people asked him, by the way, Mr. Knight, what's the name of your company? Sabi niya, naisip niya lang, Blue Ribbon from Oregon. So kasi Blue Ribbon, I think yun yung medal or yung award sa mga runners. So that's how Blue Ribbon Corporation started. And another thing, nabanggit na rin yung Philippines kasi nga he never, at that time, 60s, hindi pa ganun ka uso yung flying around the world. Well, flying per se, kasi mahal pa, but so one of his stops also was Manila, and since wala pa siyang business, so hindi pa siya ganun well, may kaya naman yung family niya, pero siya personally wala siyang pera, and he went to the Philippines, tapos he went to Manila Hotel para sabi niya, when I return, I want to stay kung saan nagstay si MacArthur. So para sinabi niya rin, I shall return. So another thing, so well, so after that, yun nga, parang after the meeting, so parang nag-agree si Blue Ribbon, I'm sorry, si Onitsuka to make him one of the distributors, and then pinadala sa kanya yung shoes. So, well, medyo makapal, mahaba na yung story, but in between that, I know how Nike started from Blue Ribbon, and then, ano pa nga, yung brand, yung gusto niyang name ni Phil Knight mismo was Dimension 6, hindi Nike. Until last minute, may nagsuggest sa Nike, which I'll tell later paano na put up or naisip yung Nike. But imagine kung walang nagsabi sa kanya na hindi maganda yung idea niya, we'll be wearing Dimension 6 shoes, or baka nga hindi nagkaroon ng Nike. So and another thing that I learned is yung how he niched from the start, yung just focusing on running shoes and the running market, which is also at that time, kumbaga, yung mga jogging, doon pa lang talaga nagbo-boom sa US. And he was able to parang be part of that blue ocean na running craze. And kumbaga, he was able to help grow that yung craze na yon, and at the same time, yung craze na yun helped Nike. And at the same time, he started then yung forming relationships with yung mga top runners and then athletes, which is what people also do today, yung influencer marketing. So I think Nike was one of the pioneers yung working with athletes to promote, kasi wala naman silang other ways to market. Hindi pa sila ganun ka successful, wala pa sila ganun karaming sales, but they focused on working with runners, and eventually nag-branch out na sila to other sports like golf, basketball, tennis, and unti-unting nag-grow yung Nike. And syempre, since Nike was an American brand, although hindi siya American made, it was also made in Japan, but somehow yung mga athletes, syempre, they prefer their American brand versus Adidas, which was and Puma, which were German brands. And another thing is yung I realized is and also Phil realized yung serendipity, kasi nga he nag-tour siya around the world when he was yung mga 20s, 30s, and he went to Greece, tapos nakita niya yung Nike temple, yung temple ni Athena sa Greece. So kumbaga may relation yung Nike sa even if hindi sa kanya nanggaling yung name na Nike. And then yung Onitsuka na company was based in Kobe, Japan, which years down the line, Kobe Bryant will be one of his talents, one of his partners sa Nike. And then yung sa mga travels rin, yung River Jordan, of course, we all know Michael Jordan, which is yung biggest athlete na Nike, and he also has his Jordan brand in partnership with Nike. And lastly, yung Onitsuka Tiger. So yung Tiger Woods, another talent ng Nike. And then yung during those times, hindi pa ganun ka known ang China as a manufacturing company or country. So ang at that time si Nike nga started having their shoes made in Japan, and then nung parang nagkaroon ng recession sa Japan, lumipat sila sa nagkaroon sila ng factory sa Taiwan, and then sa Korea, and then eventually they realized na yung China, yung kumbaga yung potential ng China being yung a place where their shoes can be manufactured, and Nike was one of the first American companies to gamble on China. So yun nga, parang I realized how yung foresight ni Phil Knight, siguro yun din yung business savvy niya is something to admire. And yung before I learned about, so for those who joined us, I'm talking about itong Shoe Dog. So I'm live now on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm talking about the story of Nike, and ito nga yung book na autobiography ni Phil Knight. So before I read this book, I was under the impression na si Phil Knight hindi siya mabuting tao kasi nagkaroon ng I'm sure you've heard of that na Nike, yung mga sweatshop na they employ kids na walang children pa na nag-work sa mga sweatshop sa Japan, sa China, and Philippines din, and yung working conditions hindi rin maganda, but it turned out na yung nangyari yung shall we say scandal na yon, si Phil Knight actually turned around, and actually ang nangyari kasi it's marami silang factories, and it's just one of the factories, independent factories na in-outsource nila. So he's saying na wala naman talagang siyang control sa lahat ng factories, but this is just one factory na feature sa media and kumalat na, and because of that, yun, nagkaroon ng mga kumbaga yung hatred towards the Nike brand. But after that, what he did was he improved yung, parang ito yung naging calling ng Nike to improve all the factories, plus yung naging strict sila when choosing factories to manufacture their shoes, and in turn yung based on their research and their study, in-improve nila yung kanilang system, and they even helped their competitors according to him. And now yung sila na yung naging standard when it comes to yung manufacturing na taking into account yung the worker, yung kumbaga yung fair working conditions. So and I salute him for that. Well, yun nga, unfortunately yung mga negative stuff, yun yung kumakalat, and yun yung nag-stay, and well, because of this book, nag-iba yung isip ko, and my shall we say yung how I view Mr. Phil Knight. So another misconception din, yung Nike logo, I'm sure you've heard of that, na he hired a graphic designer and he paid $35 lang for that logo. It turns out yung logo na yun will be worth billions right now. So inisip ko rin at that time, or maybe inisip nyo na napaka-unfair naman ni Phil Knight na for $35 hindi man lang niya kinompensate itong graphic designer. But after reading this book, actually I watched interviews of Phil Knight, and he said that in fact this college student na nag-design ng logo, yung worth is true $35, pero after that they gave her shares sa Nike. So hindi pala siya sad story talaga. So and sabi yung shares na yon worth millions of dollars right now. Last but not the least, ito yung, I think this is the only book that I remember na made me cry. So I've been reading, yun nga, mahilig ako sa business books, and never pa ako na naiyak for uh, ayun, hindi ko talaga maalala na I cried because of a book, but siguro since I was so kumbaga into the story, tapos well, towards the end he mentions how he lost his son, na siguro hindi ko na nakwento kasi medyo mahaba rin, but he lost his son, ano na yon, many years after he lost his son, na parang for somebody who's very successful, very rich, na 'di ba, na parang to go through that, na money can buy that. I mean, yung he kumbaga, ano ba, I don't know what to say, but nawala ako sa train of thought ko. But yon, parang yon, it made me cry. Siguro being a parent, it parang naka-relate ako yung love niya for his children, for his kids. Kasi sort of yung son niya to na namatay, parang naging rebel din sa kanya. So parang siguro yun, naka-relate ako, and I found myself crying after reading that story. So I think that's why I really connected with this book. So yeah, that's it. If you're looking, or if you're searching for a book that you think na something that merong business and life stories, na hindi rin siya ganong kabigat basahin, and it's a very light read. So I'd highly suggest for you guys to check out Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. So yeah, thank you for, ang haba ko pala mag-explain. Thank you for joining me for the past 20 minutes. I just would like to invite you guys. I just would like to mention that we'll be having a meet up on March 2nd. That's a Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. It will be at Ground Up co-working space in Sukat, Parañaque. So mga tiga South dyan, please join us. You can register now, starting today. freelanceblend.com/meetup MAR March 2019. So shortcut yung March, MAR. freelanceblend.com/meetup Mar 2019. Okay? Thanks, guys. So if you have questions about the meetup or about this book, please comment down below. So yeah, thank you Facebook, thank you YouTube, and happy Friday, and peace. Bye.